First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Madison, serving the shoreline communities for 50 years.
Good evening and welcome to another night of exciting football action here on Community Television. I'm Chris Wallach. Joining me tonight will be Al Levy with some commentary. We're at Sepa Field in Meriden tonight. The Tigers, ranked second in the state, will try to win their 24th consecutive regular season game against the Spartans of Malony. And the Spartans, they were 8-2 last year, 1-1 so far this year. They feature one of the state's finest running backs. This week's Athlete of the Week, Craig Duran, an explosive 6'1", 185-pound senior who rushed for over 950 yards last year and over 100 yards in both games this year. When the Spartans aren't handling the ball or handing it off, they'll look to pass. 6'3", 215-pound senior captain Jim Biestick is the quarterback. He'll be looking for his favorite target, 5'9", 170-pound co-captain Scott Kaczynski. It should be the Tigers' toughest game to date. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. We'll have the opening kickoff in just a moment. Just about set for the kickoff. Dropping back for the Tigers, number 7, Bill Leckie, and number 26, Kevin Piggott. Jim Biestick, Maloney Spartan quarterback, is just about set to kick off, and it's the third game of the season. It's between the Hand Tigers of Madison and the Spartans of Malony, and here we go. And a kickoff rolls out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
That ball's supposed to come out to the 40, Chris.
It is on the 40.
That's the rule in high school, is that the ball comes out to the 40-yard line on the kick.
Okay, so we're set. The ball comes to the 40, gives Hand good field position, setting up the Tiger offense. Mike Ciotti is the center. Edwards and Hughes, the guards. McGooey and Murphy, the tackles. Leckie, 9. Sullivan will be catching the ball tonight. Bryce is the fullback. Piggott is the tailback, and of course the quarterback, David Thompson. Here we go, 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Sepa Field in Meriden. Piggott gets the call over the left side, and he's hit hard behind the line of scrimmage, falls forward to about the line of scrimmage. No pickup on the play, brings up 2nd and 10 for the Tigers.
Kewen Potts on the hit on that, and he just knocked off. There was a pulling guard on the play, and he just knocked him off, came inside and made the tackle on that. He ran back a pass interception for a touchdown last week for Malony in their first win of the year.
2nd and 10, Tigers, opening seconds. I formation. Thompson sprints right behind the blocking of Piggott. Looking downfield. Pass intended for number 84, Scott Duncanson, falls incomplete.
And again, Potts was there on the play. He goes to the strong side of the formation. Whichever side is strong offensively, he'll go that way. And he read the play. As soon as he read that Thompson was not going to have a run, he came up and was in there making pressure on him, and David kind of threw the ball away on that.
3rd down for the Tigers. Duncanson to the top of your screen. Sullivan slot bottom. I formation. Thompson straight drop. Has to roll right now, being pressured. Throws the ball downfield. Intended for Duncanson, falls incomplete, and the Tigers will be forced to punt. So on the opening series, the Tigers lose 1 yard and are forced to punt.
And Dominic Stanish, number 79, was the guy who came through there and put the pressure on David Thompson on that play. Hand's going to have to pick up some of that stuff. Malony looks like they're playing a couple of tricks up front, and Hand linemen aren't picking it up real well, and they're going to have to do that to give David some time to throw.
Opening minute of play, Thompson sets the kick, and he boots the ball deep.
That's a great punt. That's a great punt right there.
Fielded by Dudley.
And no...
On the reverse, fake
reverse. And everybody's worried about Durant.
And Dudley carries the ball up to about the 33-yard line, while Malony will have their first possession of the evening.
Dudley made a nice play out of that because that ball was probably no more than 2 steps from going out of bounds when he picked it up, and he faked that reverse to Durant, and Malony does that a lot. They'll reverse a lot on kickoffs and punts, and Hand obviously was waiting for that, and all of a sudden there was a hole, and bingo, he pops through for 10 yards.
I've heard they use also a lateral pass also on the kickoffs. We may see that yet this evening too, Hal.
That'll be interesting. They play some games.
1st and 10, gives straight up the middle.
Durant, the ball carrier there. And Justin Murphy was the guy who made the hit on that.
Quarterback for Malony is Jim Beestick, number 9. Bill Dudley, number 2. The fullback, Craig Durant, is the tailback, number 24. Bottom of your screen, that's Potts. Top of the screen is number 8.
LaRue Graham.
Is LaRue Graham. Beestick being pressured by Simmons, slips a tackle. And a ball falls incomplete. Intended for number 22, Scott Kaczynski, Beestick's favorite target.
Jimmy Beestick was a tight end last year, and when Steve Sundberg, who was an all-state quarterback, graduated, Malony moved him back into that quarterback spot. His older brother, Bob, is a guy who graduated from Boston College, was a fullback at BC, and is now an assistant coach here at Malony.
3rd down and 10. Malony's first possession. High formation.
Hand showing blitz here. Now, and they drop back out of it.
And Beestick on the keeper. Shy of a 1st down, brings up a 4th down situation.
And Billy Leckie on the hit. Hand had a blitz there. Sullivan was up in tight, and then he dropped back off on the play. And so now Malony's in a punt situation. Let's see what happens here. The Hands go with Thompson and Piggott dropping back. Kaczynski's the punter.
Bad snap. Kaczynski gets up.
Left-footed kick, nice kick.
Drives Piggott back. Piggott left side behind the wall.
And he went the wrong way.
Going nowhere. Number 10, Steve Kenny, on the hit. So the Tigers will have their 2nd possession of the evening. Chris Wallach with Hal Levy here at Seppel Field in Meriden, expecting a good one this evening.
Yeah. He got a nice block from Dave Thompson on that, but he had to cut it inside to be able to take advantage of the wall, and he went straight outside, which most of Hands players will do. They try to get to that sideline and get behind the wall, which is usually very effective.
9:25 to go, 1st quarter action. It's still early. No 1st downs yet for either side. I formation. Thompson barks out the signals, pitches the ball to Piggott over the right side. Piggott looks to get outside, can't do it. Taken down nicely by Kevin Potts.
Kewin Potts. K-E-W.
K-E-W-O-N?
Right, all right. And that was a case right there that Hand missed a block. Very, very simply. Justin Murphy didn't get a block on Potts, and that Mr. Potts has been all over the place so far.
Second down and 9 for the Tigers. Right side, Piggott, lots of room, 1 block, and it's made by Leckie. He may go, and he's driven out of bounds.
Kaczynski caught up with him. That time, that's the first time that Hand has run to the weak side of their formation. They ran away from Potts that time. Because again, Potts was playing to the strong side. They ran away from him, and they got the block that they needed from Billy Leckie, and all of a sudden, bingo.
Scott Kaczynski making the saving tackle on the play for the first down of the ball game. Scott Kaczynski made the saving tackle, injured on the play, trots off under his own power. The Tigers with a 1st down. Strong left, and Thompson goes that way. As Piggott, he falls forward for about 5.
If you look at the Malony defense on that, Craig Durant was playing center field about 15 to 20 yards downfield on that play. I think Kaczynski's probably about ready to go. Yeah, he's back in the lineup already. Durant just came in for 1 play defensively, so they didn't get charged with the timeout on that. Durant was playing like he was ready for a punt, I think.
And 5. Thompson sprints right.
He's got the man open.
Leckie, in and out of his hands. Incomplete.
Billy Leckie was open on that play. Timmy Nye might have been open deep on the other side also. I just caught him out of the corner of my eye, and if he was, I'm sure that he went back and said something to David about it.
Ball resting on the 40.
This is a big play right here for Hand. If they want to keep a little bit of momentum going and get on top, they've got to convert the first down right here.
Duncanson and Sullivan.
Oh, and there's a mix-up, and we've got a flag coming down. I think we're probably going to have illegal procedure on Hand unless they called encroachment on Malony first. And I think they're going to call this on Hand for illegal procedure. Well, the encroachment's supposed to be automatic. There wasn't a flag ahead of time. Yeah, they called the procedure on Hand. I think Malony jumping around a little bit in there might have kind of startled Hand a little bit, and Mike Ciotti got the ball up quick, and there was a lot of movement around and not a whole lot happening.
Malony refuses the penalty. That'll bring up 4th down and 5 from the 40-yard line.
And I think Hand's going to punt.
Dudley and Durant drop deep, standing at their own 5.
They're a little too deep, really. They shouldn't be more than about the 10. Thompson's going to run, and he's got to beat. He's got one guy to beat, and he didn't beat him.
He doesn't do it.
And guess who it was? Number 3, Kewin Potts, again stops the play. He didn't make the tackle, but he set it up. He's a heck of a football player. He's a little guy, 5'5" and 135 pounds.
Thompson comes up a few yards short, so Malony will start from the 38-yard line. They go with the same I formation the Tigers use. And B-stick falls forward for about a yard.
There was just a little bit of a mix-up there. He was maybe looking for somebody to pitch the ball to, perhaps Craig Durant, and it looked like the timing on the play was just a little bit off, and he wisely decided he'd just tuck it up and try to get what he could.
You say he fell forward for 2, bring us up 2nd down and 8 for the Spartans. And the give is to Dudley. He'll get maybe 1. Bring up 3rd and 7.
Chris Bryce in the middle of that tackle. The play before that, Chris, I think, was part of the reason that that B-stick did not pitch to Durant, because Chris looked like his responsibility on that play was just to watch what Craig Durant did, and he was probably about 2-3 steps away from him. It'll be interesting to watch if that's the way Hand winds up assigning that defensively.
3rd and 7, and a give is to
Big
Durant
hole
over the left side.
The Hand closed it down quickly. Timmy Nye and Chris Bryce making the tackle there. There was a big hole there, but Hand closed it up quite quickly and stopped Durant short of the first down. So now Maloney's going to be in a punt situation. One other thing to watch here is that Kaczynski is a left-footed punter, which means the ball is going to have the opposite spin from the way the hand punt receivers are used to getting the ball. And that, maybe at some point or another could result in a muff. Well, they came on that one, and they almost got it. Right there, there's your muff.
Bigot fumbles the ball, brings it up to about the 24-yard line, where the Tigers will take over. 1 first down, and otherwise it's been 1-2-3 punt.
That's it. Your basic chorus line offenses both ways. Thus far, there's a certain amount of feeling out process to a certain degree that's going on here. I know Hand is very, very concerned about Craig Durant's speed and his ability to get to the outside, and Malony obviously very worried about whether or not David Thompson is going to riddle him with passes. So far, neither one's happened.
1st and 10. The give is to Pickett over the right
This
side.
is a big, big thing for Hand. They've got to establish this.
And Pickett carries the ball up nicely. Close to midfield, about the 47, 48-yard line.
Victor Matthias on the tackle. But that's something that Hand's got to establish. And there's a Malony player down. Looks like number 77, Jim Robinson. Maybe the injured player. But that's something Hand has to establish. They've got to establish that running game. They've got to establish Kevin Pickett, who's gone over 100 yards each of the first 2 games, in order to loosen up Malony enough so that Thompson has some time to throw.
Pickett with 2 long runs now. 279 for Pickett so far on the year.
He may not necessarily make people forget Jim Bell, but he's going to be compared very favorably with him, at least statistically, by the time this season is over. He's waited his turn and bided his time and played some JV and played a little bit here and there, and now he's a senior and it's his turn to come in.
Sure, and he got a lot of work last year, playing primarily in the second half, rushed for over 500 yards last year.
Jim Bell, by the way, is here tonight, someplace in the stands. Came down to see. Sitting out this year at Boston College, redshirting the season. And it looks like 79, Dominic Standish, is the fellow who was injured on the play. And it looks like he's got a tender leg of some sort, possibly an ankle. Getting a little bit of help coming off the field.
Of course, Hal, I'm sure you've heard of the Morrison incident in the UConn game.
Oh yeah, I was up there for that. It was one of the stranger things that I've ever seen. I tell you, it was kind of a dull football game, very realistically up to that point. You know, UConn had the game very well in hand, and here comes Greg Morrison in for his first carry ever in college football, and he runs into that play, and it was the only carry that he had all afternoon. And I'll tell you the rest of the story after this play.
Thompson sprints left on 1st and 10. Looks for Leckie in the down, out, and
there
down.
He is. There he is.
One man to beat is Kaczynski. Gets by him. Leckie uses his speed.
He's gone. He's gone. No problem, and no flags.
Leckie from Thompson. 53 yards on the reception.
Yep, 53 yards on the play. And what happened there was that Leckie ran that little out pattern that he's been running all night, and Thompson rolled out. He had a little bit of time to throw. He motioned him deeper. Leckie got behind the guy, and there it is. And when Billy Leckie gets the football in the open field, there's not too many people going to catch him.
What a nice addition for the Tigers this year. Coming over from Morgan, along with his brother, who's a sophomore, I understand, who's academically ineligible.
Stewart is academically ineligible, and from what I understand, although I haven't seen him play, they think that he is going to be a very, very good football player. If he gets his grades up to where they should be, he's got the capacity to be quite good.
6-0 Tigers. Sullivan on the fade.
Hand's got a free play right here because there was an offside on Malony, and they got the 2. Malony was offside on that play. Now, whether or not that's an automatic call, I don't know. They may call that back because I thought that was supposed to be a stop the game penalty.
May have been number 8, LaRue Graham.
That's a possibility. Oh, and now they're just saying no. Okay, so the 2-point stance.
And with 5:06 to go in the first quarter, the Tigers have an 8-0 lead over the Spartans of Malony. David Thompson sent to boot. Craig Durant dropping deep for Malony along with Kewen Potts. Thompson with an onside kick. They should get it here.
And I think he overran it.
Malony not expecting the onside kick, was running back to get into their wall. We're lucky to recover it, I'd have to say, Hal.
Right. Number 54, Matt McGivney, was the fellow who picked the ball up. And you're right, Malony was retreating to set up a wall, and Hand was like right on the money coming off that. I would like to see a film to see if anybody was offside, but they followed the ball right down, and somebody just overran it by just a tad. Well, it gives Malony good field position anyway at their own, 41-yard line.
1st and 10, 41 I formation, and the Malony.
We have movement here. That's 5 yards. 66, Peter Magi, kind of straightened up after they were down in the set, and that's a no-no.
Yeah, good field position, backs them up 5, make it 1st and 15. As the Malony rooters underneath us start making a bunch of noise here, trying to get their team going. They trail 8-0. 4:44 to go, first quarter action from Sepp Field in Meriden. Chris Wallach with Hal Levy. And to give us to Durant, he's hit by Sullivan behind the line of scrimmage and taken down for a loss.
All right, also in on that play, Justin Murphy very quickly. Hand defensively thus far has done what it has to do, which is to bottle up Craig Durant, but he is very, very dangerous. Any given play, he can break it.
Coming into the year, the Hand offensive and defensive lines were supposed to be suspect, but so far they've done a nice job in the first 2 games and here early.
Larry Ciotti does a great job every single year, and of course, you know, very able assistants as well, but they've really put it together.
And the pitch is to Durant over the right side. He's taken down by Pegnataro at about the line of scrimmage.
Nice play by Rob Pegnataro, because Mark Howard, number 69, was getting out trying to throw a block there, and fortunately for Malony, he was within the legal clip zone because he hit him from behind, but Pegnataro had that step and he got to Durant before he could get outside. That's what Hand's got to do. They got to stop that play.
And the Hand defense doing the job. 3rd and 15.
Malony going T this time rather than I.
Brosette, and the give is to Durant. And he'll get back close to the original line of scrimmage.
Right. And Timmy Nye in there on the tackle.
So once again, we have 1, 2, 3 punt.
That's about the way it's going to be. They know that they have a weapon in Durant, and Malony knows that Durant can score from any place on the field. It's just a question of getting him loose. He'll carry the ball 30 times before it's over. Nice, got that. Oh, he should have had that one. He should have had that one.
And the ball falls out of bounds.
It's around the 48, 49 yard line. I think they're going to mark it. Timmy Nye certainly did a good job of putting pressure on there. I thought he had a shot at that because he goes up about 6'5" or so and makes kind of an imposing figure to get the punt over. And it was a high snap anyway. Malony hasn't had a good snap yet. They've had 2 low ones, and that one was almost found its way over Kaczynski's head.
Once again here, the Tigers, good field position. 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Pickett tries the right side again behind a block of Murphy. And he picks up about 6 yards on the play. Bring up 2nd and 4 for the Tigers.
Very good call there. That time Justin Murphy got a piece of cue in Potts, knocked him enough out of the play so that Kevin Pickett had some room to run, and when Kevin gets room to run, he's going to take advantage of it.
Bill Leckie checks in. Scott Duncanson out as Coach Ciotti shuffles the plays in with his wide receivers.
I'd have a tendency to think he's probably going to roll out and try to throw here.
Second and 4, slot to the top of your screen. Thompson on the fake is in trouble. Looks for Sullivan and has him.
We have a flag down in the backfield. I think we're going to get a holding call.
Stumbled forward to about the 27, 28 yard line.
Now, block below the waist. And blocking below the waist on Hand is going to call that play back. And it's going to cost him some yards the other way.
Sullivan had brought the ball all the way down to the 28.
That time Hand picked up the Malony stun a little bit better and gave Dave some time to get back into the pocket, set up and throw. This one's going to cost him 15. They were blocking below the waist call in the backfield.
We'll spot the ball at the Hand 32. They will need to go to the Malony 42 for a first down. High formation, Thompson sprinting left, has Sullivan in the flat, and Sullivan taken down close to midfield.
That's a nice pickup for him. That's about an 18, 19-yard gain on that play, and instead of going for it all at once, he picked up a nice chunk of it right there. Now he's faced with about a 3rd and 11, which is another passing down, of course. Lecky's back in for Duncanson.
And Matt Sullivan didn't catch any passes in the first game against Notre Dame of Fairfield. Came on strong against East Haven, and Thompson seems to have found a sort of a favorite target here in the last game and a half.
Matt's an outstanding athlete. He'd be quarterbacking most high school football teams in the state of Connecticut. He's also a very good baseball player.
Thompson gives the picket over right side.
They ran basically a sprint draw there, and he got some yardage, but not anywhere near enough to pick up the first down. Number 5, Steve. Yeah, I'm going to have trouble pronouncing this one. B-O-E-H-L-E. Bowl, I guess.
Bowl, that's how I'd say it now.
You see, I did a lot of homework.
Interesting call there, though, for the Tigers, not putting it up in the air.
Yeah, well, maybe figure they're going to catch him by surprise a little bit. He's awful short on a punt formation here.
Thompson runs left. Lots of room down the left side.
He's got it. He's got the first down.
And a flag on the play.
Flag
and your fellow Hugh Potson on the hit.
Thompson was in very, very tight to be punting there. He wasn't more than about 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and there's no way you want to punt from that short a distance.
Flag came late, though, Hal, right?
And we have a clip. I think he'll be punting this time.
Costly hand penalty as Thompson had made the first down.
Yeah, they made the first down twice and got it called back twice for penalties. That's kind of a tough way to go. Yeah, at least they're starting to move the football a little bit, which is an encouraging sign for Larry Ciotti and company. Durant and Dudley back almost to their own 10-yard line right now. They definitely respect David Thompson's leg.
Thompson all week practicing kicking the ball out of bounds.
Yeah. You see the difference now. He's 12 yards back now, which there's no way he was before. Nice kick. I think that one's end zone. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that.
Gives the ball to Durant. He'll come down the bottom of your screen. Ash Edwards misses a tackle, but he's knocked out of bounds by Dennis Simmons.
I cannot believe that they fielded a punt on their own goal line, maybe a half a step in the end zone, and tried to run it back out.
Durant came back to the 19.
Yeah. Now, it turned out not to be too bad for them, but philosophically, it's not exactly a smart thing to do.
Some coaches will say inside the 10.
Inside the 10, you let the ball go.
And that's the end of the first quarter here in Seppin Field in Meriden. And the state's number 2 ranked team, the Han Tigers, have an 8-0 lead over the Spartans of Malony.
In the first quarter, Craig Durant carried the ball 5 times for 9 net yards. If Han does that for the rest of the football game, Han is going to win.
Okay, here we go. First play of the second quarter. B-stick with a long count. Gives the ball to Durant over the right side.
Timmy Nye. Timmy Nye led a host of people in there to make the tackle on that. Just kind of stood him straight up, and Justin Murphy also getting off the bottom of the pile.
Durant carried the ball up to about the 22 for a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7 for Malony. Potts and Graham to the bottom of your screen, I formation. The pitch goes to Durant.
Blitz by Sullivan, and he did not catch him from behind. David Thompson made the play in the backfield.
Thompson on the tackle.
Matt Sullivan kind of blitzed inside that time. Got a hand on Durant in the backfield, but couldn't bring him down.
Bring up 3rd and 3 for the Spartans.
We'd assume this would be another run by Durant at this point.
2 of the state's premier players meeting head-on on that one. Craig Durant and David Thompson.
Tell you what, for somebody who hasn't played a whole lot of defense, David Thompson doesn't do it too badly.
Split backfield now into the eye. pitches to Durant right side and tackled behind the line of scrimmage by
Matt
Sullivan.
Sullivan came through again that time, and this time the play went away from him, and he had time to figure it out and track it down.
Sullivan doing it a couple times last week against the Yellow Jackets.
Hand should get reasonable field position out of this, assuming no penalty and no muff on the punt.
Kaczynski's hit some beauty so far.
Yes, he has. And again, that left-footed spin is tough to pick up. It doesn't seem like a very big thing, but it's just a little bit different.
And once again, Piggott will feel that they run left.
Nice move that time.
A couple tackles. Carries the ball up close to the 40.
He slipped by Steve Kenny that time and was heading out towards the wall when he finally got taken down. That time he cut it just a little bit inside before he went out, and it worked out well for him.
They'll spot the ball at the Malony 42, so once again the Tigers have good field position. Early second quarter action. They have an 8-0 lead.
I'd look for him to come our way.
Thompson looking out to the sidelines for Sullivan, and the ball falls incomplete. Matt McGivney pressuring Thompson from his linebacker position.
That was just a straight, quick drop-back pass and look to the outside. You know, Hand's doing a lot of different things with its pass attack this year that it has never, at least not that I've seen, done before. Maybe had them in game plans and just didn't use them very much, but just a lot of different kinds of passes. I'm starting to feel a couple of drops of rain here, Chris.
Slot right, it goes right. Piggott looking to cut back into the flow. He does, slips through, makes a nice juke. And driven down.
LaRue Graham.
Kevin Piggott looked to be stopped.
Steve Ball rather, had his hands on him in the backfield, and everybody just kind of let up because it looked like, hey, he's tackled, no problem. And all of a sudden, he kept those legs driving and kind of popped through there, and bingo, he's got himself a nice 20-some-odd yard gain.
22-yard line, the ball sits. 1st and 10, Tigers.
You got a single back in the backfield this time. It looks like now Maloney's trying to figure out how to cover this.
Piggott goes top of the screen, over the middle, intended for Leckie. Short.
And it just wasn't a very well thrown pass.
First time I've seen the single back for the Tigers this year.
Yeah, that's something a little bit different. Malony looked like it was a little bit confused. The linebackers, again, they're flip-flopping the linebackers, trying to play to the strong side and weak side. And number 54 for Malony, Matt McGivney, looked like he was a little bit confused. Which way do I go? All of a sudden they get people out on both sides.
Nice idea by the Tigers, trying to get Piggott the ball via the pass.
They're doing the same thing again here. Piggott split out to the left side.
2nd and 10.
And now we're going to run a reverse.
Reverse. There's open room down the right side. Slips one tackle.
Finally driven out of bounds. Number 22, Scott Kaczynski, drove him out of bounds.
At about the 6.
Now, Dominic Stanish was coming through on that play and had a shot at Piggott in the backfield. And again, Kevin Piggott keeps those legs driving and keeps the shoulders squared up. And he's not as easy to bring down as maybe he looks that he might be.
Mark the ball just about the 5-yard line, so it'll be 1st and goal for the Tigers, looking to add to their 8-0 lead.
Kevin's not real big, but he's got very, very strong legs, and he just went, according to Paul Nichols, just went over the 100-yard mark for the 3rd game in a row with that. 7 carries, 103 yards. And Durant now 7 carries, 13 yards, and that's the difference in the football game right here. And I think we have too much time here. That's going to cost Hand 5 yards. What's interesting is that the Malony clock is still running a 1/4.5 into the football game. This clock is infamous for going out.
First and goal now for the Tigers. Ball just inside the 10, and that delay of game can't make Coach Ciotti too happy.
No, not at all. They must have been discussing something interesting in the huddle.
Thompson wanted to go left.
I think it was supposed to be a screen.
Throw the ball out of the end zone. He does.
I think that was supposed to be a screen pass, to Piggott coming across, and he just got tied up in there with Dominic Stanish and didn't have any place to go. And all of a sudden, David Thompson was around the 30-yard line running for his life.
Bull and Beestick after him. Bull 5'11", 190, and Beestick 6'4", 220. David did the smart thing and
fired it out of the end zone. Yeah. Well, we know he can do that. Now they're back to the straight eye.
Simmons in for Bryce at fullback. Pitches to Piggott left side.
Got a block, and he didn't take advantage of it.
He's taken down from behind by number 60. That's Michael Johnson.
Jim McGooey had a block on the outside, and Kevin never really read it and got a chance to follow it up.
Third and goal here for the Tigers. Ball just inside the 8-yard line. 8:20 to go.
I think we got a guess pass here. And Leckie has got a shot to get open quickly.
Thompson slips.
Here he is.
Zinski.
Oh, he had two. He had Leckie and Sullivan open. He couldn't figure out which one to throw to.
Sullivan was open.
Billy Leckie was getting played like nose to nose by the Malony safety there, and he broke a quick pattern at the outside. He was open very quickly, and until Malony recovered on the play. And then Sullivan came open late across the middle, and I don't know if Dave saw him or not.
Brings up a 4th down situation for the Tigers. 8 to go for a touchdown. And what do you call here, Hal?
Well, my call would have been field goal, which is not what they're doing. So at this point, I think you got to throw it.
Okay, look for Thompson probably to sprint out.
I would look for Sullivan. There's Sullivan. He's open.
Sullivan across the middle has it. He thinks he's.
Oh, he thought he was in when he crossed the 5-yard line.
Oh,
and he finally decided to go in.
Oh. Matt Sullivan had his arms in the air at about the 3. Didn't realize he hadn't crossed the goal line yet, but managed to find it. And the Tigers put another 6 on the board.
I think he got lost because he thought the 5-yard line was the goal line, and all of a sudden he decided he better go forward because people were trying to tackle him, and he just managed to get into the end zone.
And it's a good thing for Matt because that'd be a tough thing to live down.
Yeah, that would have been a tad embarrassing.
Simmons will be on for the extra point. Missed but 1 this season.
I guess my field goal call wasn't necessary, huh?
Sullivan will do the holding. Puts it down nicely. Simmons' boot is up and good. So the Tigers have added 7 to their 8-0 lead. And with 7:59 to go here in the first half from Seventh Field in Meriden, it's the state's number 2 ranked Hand Tigers 15 and the Malony Spartans nothing. Thompson set to boot. And that's Durand and Potts. They're deep. Thompson scripts it up the middle, and it's fielded by Durand. He starts straight up the middle, now cuts to the right side, slips one tackle. Piggott and Leckie.
9. Tim
Piggott
9.
And 9.
And Bill Leckie was in there also.
And Leckie. A 5, a 7, and a 9.
Yeah.
Single digits all in on the tackle.
And that's the kind of play that Hand's got to be careful with because he was about a step away from breaking that. And again, Craig Durand, if he gets loose, is maybe even quicker than Billy Leckie going down the sideline.
Very powerful runner. One-hand tackler has yet to take him down, although he met Thompson head on, and Thompson did a nice job earlier. First and 10.
Now Malony going single back. Durant's coming out.
Durand in the slot. They'll look to throw deep.
And they're flooding zones.
Aired it out for.
And guess who is right there?
Ran it. Thompson.
David Thompson.
Sit up at the 25.
He is a very fine defensive back.
Thompson and Nye also back there.
Yeah, Timmy Nye got back. But Malony had 2 guys going down that sideline. They had Durant down there along with LaRue Graham, who's also got very good foot speed. He's a pretty good baseball player, too. Hand saw a little bit of him in the state tournament game last year. I think he had a home run and a double and a couple other base hits.
Malony beat the Tigers 12-6.
12-6, 12-7, something along that line.
Second and 10, Durant left side. And Wynoski Pegnataro, and
I saw Wynowski and Pegnataro there. I'm not sure who the end was.
Bryce may have been in on the tackle. Third down and 8. Ball just over the 35-yard line.
The Hand here is playing different defense. They're basically playing what amounts to a 3-man line.
B-Stick's pass intended for LaRue Graham.
Almost intercepted by Matt Sullivan, who had a better shot at it than Graham did. And he probably could have run that back quite a ways because he had a nice momentum going for him at that point.
So once again, the Spartans will be forced to punt. Nice night here. We were expecting rain and it to be a little bit colder, but it's not a bad night here, except the field in Meriden. Chris Wallach with Hal Levy and Paul Nichols helping us out with the stats. Kaczynski's boot will be fielded by Thompson. Thompson starts left, crosses the 30-yard line, slips one tackle, and taken out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. Thompson got away from Steve Kenny.
We have
about the 30.
We have a flag down. I think we're going to get Dennis Simmons on a low block. That seems to be the call with the Federation rules on blocking, which get to the point where you don't even want to touch anybody on a punt return.
Malony have a punt anymore where there doesn't seem to be a flag down on the play.
Malony thus far in the game, Paul tells us, does not have a first down in 5 possessions. That's definitely a tribute to a young Hand defense, which is coming of age very quickly. So far, that first-team defense has not given up a point this year. The 24 points that were given up by East Haven were basically with reserves in the ball game.
Basically an easy win for the Tigers. They had led 33-0 at one point in that game.
And Larry Ciotti is not a guy who runs it up, and he had given just about everybody in the ball game a chance to play.
13-yard line, 1st and 10. Thompson airing it out for Leckie, but he overthrows. It's picked off by Kaczynski in midfield. Kaczynski will run it back across the 40. And he's taken out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. So a big break for Malony as Kaczynski intercepts the pass intended for Bill Leckie from David Thompson. And their first real good field position of the evening for Malony.
Right. Leckie got held up just slightly. He was basically just running a fly pattern. He got held up just slightly, about 12, 14 yards downfield, trying to get around a defensive back. And that's along about the time Thompson let the ball go, and that's why it was about 2 or 3 yards long. If Leckie had been allowed to run, he would have had a shot at catching that ball.
They'll mark it to 32. Play action, B-Stick, taken down by Sullivan.
Matt Sullivan, Rob Pegnataro also was coming on that play. Hand had both the linebackers coming in on that. And Justin Murphy was about a step behind. And that's a very big play right there.
Takes the ball all the way back to about the 42 for loss of 10 or 11 yards.
That's about an 11-yard loss, and that cuts down on some of Maloney's options at this point.
Clock winding down, close to 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Tigers up 15-0. Malony looking to pass the ball. B-Stick intended for Kaczynski. Incomplete. Leckie was there along with Sullivan.
And that time Sullivan didn't blitz. He stayed back, and he was right in the area where the pass was thrown. Matt's doing a very nice job defensively.
And has been all year. Third, and we'll call it 20.
Durant fumbles
the ball.
And I think Timmy Nye's going to have it for Hand.
Timmy Nye, he has recovered it, appears. Sort of a draw, I think, was the intended call there.
Yeah,
didn't quite wait long enough on it, though.
No, it was very, for a sprint draw, there was no time set up for the play. But there was some nice ball handling going on anyway, and Durant popped through, started to cut to the outside, and kind of had the ball out in front of him, just lost control of it. And Timmy Nye
covers the ball at the 39-yard line. So
the exchange of turnovers gains hand 19 yards.
Duncan sends to the top of the screen. Sullivan slot bottom I formation, flag down.
And I think
encroachment.
I think we're looking at procedure on hand. Malony doing that little bit of jumping around. They're not necessarily encroaching and they're not moving off sides, but I think that the jumping around may be kind of disrupting some of the hand linemen's concentration on what they're supposed to be doing.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for the Tigers. Bryce and Piggott. They give us to Piggott. Carries the ball forward for a pickup of about 3.
The one number 5 in there, Steve Bowl, again was involved on the tackle, and again that was one of those things where it looked like maybe Kevin Piggott was going to be have an opportunity to break something, but that time people didn't let go of him.
Second down 12 for the Tigers.
Hand would like to eat up some clock on this drive, I'm sure. And
Thompson sprints left. He goes nowhere. Taken down by Potts.
Potts was there. Bowl again was in there as well. But Malony had a blitz going on, and it just happened to go to the side that Thompson rolled to. I'm not sure, but I don't remember Thompson getting blitzed and caught before this year.
Not often, anyway.
No. He generally managed to get away from it.
Moments ago was 20-plus yards for Malony. Here it's 3rd and 25 now for the Tigers. 3:40 to go here in the first half. Thompson will sprint left behind a blocking of Piggott, and he's taken down by Durant.
Durant came up to make the play. Piggott went out to take out the outside guy. Craig Durant knifed inside him, and I think maybe Piggott thought that Durant wasn't going to pose a threat to Thompson, but he did.
So the Tigers will be forced to punt, and Durant and Dudley will drop deep for the Spartans. Thompson will probably look to angle the ball away from Durant, but it seems to have not made much difference as they've reversed the ball in many of the punts, and Thompson angles the ball out of bounds.
That's probably going to be around the, it should be around the
7-yard
they're going to
line.
mark it at the 37. I thought it was maybe down a little bit further than that, but it's hard to tell from this angle.
As I mentioned earlier, Thompson been working on that in practice all week, angling the ball out of bounds, keep the ball out of the hands of Craig Durant, although Durant's had the ball quite a few times tonight and hasn't gained many yards out.
Yeah, he has, but he's still not a guy, you know, he's one of those people at any one play he can still break.
Last week, I think 60-yard punt return and a 75-yard interception also for Durant, along with 138 yards on the ground when they beat Fermi 40-7. After opening up with Xavier in a 6-6 tie.
And he had well over 100 yards in the Xavier game also.
And the give.
He's out there this time.
Talking about Durant. And he rambles down the sidelines for a first down. Wynoski and Leckie.
Murphy was over there also, but he got that one block along the sideline. And he got room to move, and all of a sudden there's a first down, and Maloney's in hand territory at the 46. Now the clock's starting to become a factor a little bit with under 3 minutes to go in the first half here. That stopped the clock with the moving of the chains and the going out of bounds as well.
Graham to the left and across the Potts. Piggott being on the tackle along with Bill Leckie and Thompson over there also, but another first down for the Spartans, 2:45.
And once again that stops the clock. Until they reset the change, the clock is stopped. Now they're cranking it up again. But it's a first down this time inside the 35.
B-stick pitches the ball to Durant, left side. Dennis Simmons and Sullivan take Durant down, but not before he picked up
Close to 5.
close to 5 yards.
Simmons made a nice ankle tackle on that, because if he didn't, Durant would have hit the sideline and that would have been trouble.
2nd and 5. All of a sudden, Malony starting to move the ball here late first half action.
Just about 2 minutes to go in the half right now. Plenty of time for Malony to get something going.
2nd and 5. Beestick rolls right, comes back across the middle, deflected by Kaczynski, but almost caught by LaRue Graham back at about the 15.
He was getting pressure from Tim Nye that time. He threw the ball over the middle. Kaczynski had a shot at it. He tipped it up, and then LaRue Graham almost came up with a shoe-top catch on top of that. David Thompson was right there on Graham on the play.
3rd down and 5 now.
And this is Maloney's biggest play of the half. If the Spartans want to score, they've got to at least get close to a first down here. They're in 4-down territory at this point in the half with 1:51 to go.
They may go to Durant twice here, figuring he can get 5 on 2 carries.
I'd think about it. There's
Durant
one of them.
gets a carry, but Sullivan, with a fine defensive play at the line of scrimmage, takes down Durant. And you could hear the hit all the way up here.
Matt Sullivan made a heck of a play on that, and Justin Murphy, who's doing a nice job of plugging up holes, is there, and we have a timeout.
4th down. Durant lost a yard in the last play, so it's a long 6.5 yards to go. 1:43 and counting on the snap. Beestick pitches the ball to Durant, right side. He powers his way through a tackle.
He's real close.
Up close to a first down. It appears from here that he may be a bit short.
Pickett made the final hit on that, and I think that he stopped. Yeah, he did. He stopped him almost a yard short of the first down, which means Hand takes over with 1:36 left. Now, this is going to be interesting to see. If you're Larry Ciotti with a 15-0 lead, 1:36 to go, do you sit on it or do you let David Thompson air it out?
He probably would sit on it, I would think. 1:36, 15-point lead. And Malony with only 2 timeouts left, I believe, with that rule change from the 5 timeouts a half last year to 3 this year.
Right, Malony took 1, has 2 left. Hand has all 3 left. I think you're right, too, but it'd be interesting to see what happens if he does put it up.
Well, first down will definitely take care of the first half. Not much breathing room to throw the ball up in the air with a 15-point lead. Ball at about the 23-yard line.
And Maloney's got 3 guys playing about 400 feet off the line of scrimmage, too.
Thompson and the quarterback keep, lots of room. Tries to cut left, slips through a couple tackles.
Fumbled it, and Hand recovers. Scott Duncanson recovered the fumble, but we have 3 flags back, and we have, I believe we're going to have a penalty on Hand procedure or a motion penalty. Hand had a motion penalty on that. And that was an interesting play with David Thompson running that quick hit quarterback keeper for about 30 yards.
And the middle was wide open.
Now again, with Maloney's basically playing defense with 8 men right now because they've got 3 guys about 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. And here's Simmons breaking to the outside.
To the outside, up for a first down.
Yeah. LaRue Graham had a shot at him and kind of missed, and they finally drove him out of bounds, which also will stop the clock with 1 minute exactly left.
Now with a little breathing room, we possibly may see Thompson put the ball up here.
Well, I think that what they're doing right now is very interesting. If Maloney's going to play 3 guys 15 to 18 yards off the line of scrimmage, Hand's going to be in a position where they ought to be able to get enough blocks to pop somebody. And if that somebody happens to be Kevin Piggott, the results could be very interesting.
50 seconds to go, first half. Simmons straight up the middle again, big hole, and Simmons rambles crosses midfield.
And we have a clock stop for them to move the chains with 41 seconds to go. Now you got to think, is Malony going to tighten up its defense, or is it going to keep doing the same thing?
41 seconds, some hand timeouts still left. They could easily move the ball in here with some select play calling.
Oh, we're back on now. Okay. And Hand's about ready to come out. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Again, now Malony is playing people very, very deep, and they're giving Hand that room. I'd like to see if Piggy gets the ball here. Now, David's going to throw it.
1st and 10. Thompson looks to throw, now finds some room at the middle. And he's taken down by number 54 for Malony. That's Matt McGivney, a two-way player for the Spartans. And the Tigers will take timeout with 30 seconds to go here in the first half.
All right, Hand's got the ball on the 40. That time, Thompson started to look left, and he saw an official there, and he cut back the other way.
3 Malony defenders are real deep. The Tigers may look for maybe a tight end over the middle or something here.
Now at this point, 2nd down. He may give it one deep one and then try to throw short for the 1st down.
30 seconds to go here in the first half. Tigers with the ball at just about the 40-yard line. Thompson across the middle.
That was tipped by a lineman, I believe, number 54, McGivney. Got a hand up on that.
B-stick on the coverage, couple of 9s. Thompson looking for 9. It was across the middle. The middle is wide open. Peter Metz checks in. Kevin Piggott goes to the sideline. 26 seconds, 3rd and 4 for the Tigers. They lead this one 15-0.
Malony again playing that very, very deep defense. Although this time LaRue Graham is up very, very tight instead of playing deep.
Thompson straight.
There's Nye is deep.
For Leckie.
LaRue Graham intercepted. No. Did he intercept it or not? Yes, he did. It's hard to tell if he trapped it.
On the interception with 19 seconds left. Leckie was streaking down the sideline and then looked to come back.
Yeah, he looked like he was curling back, and Thompson threw the ball back into him. I'm not really sure why on that play, unless that was a pattern. Timmy Nye also was going long across the middle. And
The
officials are sitting out there checking something out. I'm not sure what it is, unless Malony had called it. No, they're just waiting for Malony to come in with its own football, which B-stick brought in from the sideline.
A few raindrops starting to get a little moist. Perhaps the ball getting a little wet and slippery.
Now it's Hand's turn to play that deep defense with Piggott and Sullivan and who's on the far side over there?
Bob Duncanson. 19 seconds to go. Durant. And he's hit at about the line of scrimmage.
Rob Pegnataro made the hit on that, and that should... No, they called timeout.
.16 seconds to go, first half. Malony with the ball deep in their own territory, and to give the fake to Durant. Airing it out long, and the ball's tipped away by Duncanson at the 43-yard line.
And Matt Sullivan was also there. It was intended for Kewen Potts long. Craig Durant was out there playing games in the middle. Billy Leckie wound up having him one-on-one in the middle of the field. And it might be interesting to see if maybe on its probably last play, or at least second to last play of the half, that Malony goes to him that way.
Jim B-stick showing a nice arm here, and that went out about 40, 45 yards. Third down, 8 seconds to go. Could be the last play of the first half. And
Durant
gets loose to the outside. Piggott, Simmons, and that'll do it as they take him down at about the 40. So the first half is over here at Seppel Field in Meriden, and the state's #2 ranked team, the Hand Tigers, have a 15-0 lead over the Spartans of Malony. Chris Wallach with Hal Levy here at Sepa Field in Meriden, just about set for the second half of football between the Han Tigers and the Spartans of Malony. Han took a 15-0 lead into the locker room with 5:06 left in the first quarter. Thompson hit Sullivan with a 53-yard strike. Sullivan to Piggott for the 2 points, and Han led 8-0 first quarter. 7:59 to go in the first half. It was 4th and goal for the Tigers from the 7-yard line when Thompson scrambled, hit Sullivan with a 7-yard TD strike, and Simmons came on, kicked the extra point, and those were the 15 points the Tigers put on the board in the first half. Hal, your thoughts on first half action here?
The big difference in the ballgame so far is that Han has been able to bottle up Maloney's very explosive Craig Durant, and so far Malony has done a reasonable job, but not a great job of stopping the Han offense. As long as Han stops Durant, they're in good shape.
Thompson's boot to open up second half action. And Durant fields the ball at his own 7 over the 10 to 15. Slips down on a wet field as the rain starts to come down a bit higher. And they'll mark it at about the 20. So Malony will have it 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
That ball took a skip. It looked like it might be going to head out of bounds. It was bouncing that way, and then it took a skip right back up to Durant at the 7-yard line.
First half stats, the Tigers with 7 first downs, Malony but 3. Tigers had 144 yards on the ground, Malony 69. 79 via the pass for the Tigers, only 14 for Malony, 223 total for the Tigers, 83 for Malony. And the give, quick give, is to number 2. And that's William Dudley on the quick hitter up the middle. Goes for big yardage here.
All right. Well, again, Han is very much keying on Durant, who's the guy who carried the ball for the most part in the first half. Malony gave to the first back through that time, Dudley, and the hole was there quickly.
Durant carried the ball 15 times in the first half for 65 yards, although 20 of them coming on the final play of the first half. Piggott over 100 for the 3rd consecutive week, had 109 on 9 carries. Once again to Dudley. Dudley driven down by Nye behind the line of scrimmage, loss of 1. Bring up 2nd and 11.
Timmy Nye is a very, very fine athlete. That's a situation there where Dudley tried to stiff arm him, and Nye wound up using the stiff arm against him, just by taking that and using that to get some leverage to bring him down. And Tim's one of those kids who's getting recruited somewhat by the colleges, Division I AA level especially, and certainly getting some Division I looks as well.
2nd and 10, I formation. Pitches to Durant, right side. Picks up a couple, maybe.
Outstanding play by Chris Bryce there. He was getting blocked. He spun off the block, spun right back into the play, and knocked Durant off balance.
And a familiar number we saw much of in the first half. Matt Sullivan also over there, too. Number 5. Third down, a long 7, short 8. Sullivan fakes the blitz, gives to Durant left side. He's tripped up by Simmons.
Dennis Simmons did a nice job there. Han had both the linebackers stunning. Simmons and Sullivan were up in there playing all kinds of games, and Simmons wound up taking that route to the right side. That's where the hole was, and he was there to plug it quickly.
So on Maloney's first possession of the second half, they'll do what they did much of the first half, 1-2-3 punt, as Kaczynski drops back about 13, 14 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Piggott and Thompson back. Nye once again with a rush. Doesn't get a piece of it. Thompson calls for the fair catch. And ball is down at the 30-yard line. That's where the Tigers will take over. And Potts down on the play. Didn't appear to be giving Thompson the necessary couple yards.
I was just going to say that could have been a flag very easily for interference on that, because Potts was right in Thompson's face waiting for a fumble.
So we'll see what the Tigers can do here on their first possession of the second half. They start with the same lineup they started with. Duncanson, Sullivan, and Nye are all to the left. And Piggott goes right and dragged down from
There's
behind.
15, late hit.
Keith Murphy, number 74, on the tackle for Malony.
All right, but Steve Kenny came on late on the hit, and that's what the 15 yards is going to be for. He was down, although once again, Kevin Piggott showing great leg drive on that. Just it dragged a real big kid, 210-pound Dominic Stanish, for another 3 or 4 yards downfield on that.
And the Malony Tigers were a bit frustrated, only 3 first downs. They came in here with high hopes, trying to knock off the number 2 ranked team at their home field, and they trail this one 15-0 here early in the 3rd quarter. Ball be spotted at midfield. 1st and 10, Simmons, the fullback, gets the carry. He goes nowhere. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 for the Tigers.
51, Norbert Hernandez, 6'1", 233-pound nose tackle. Kind of stood that play right up.
Norbert, not a name I'm familiar with, Hal. Origin of that name?
Well, judging from the last name, I think we'd probably make guesses.
Jim Beestick trots off the field. Thompson sprinting left. Has Leckie open in the flat. Leckie stays on his feet, carries the ball up over the 35 to about the 34-yard line.
Leckie's hurt on the play. He's definitely, he took a very good hit there, and he's limping a little bit right now.
Helmet to the thigh, maybe, Hal.
That's a possibility. He might have a Charlie horse or something, a bruise of that sort. He may be able to run it off, or else he may be through. It's hard to say right now with that kind of an injury.
Tugginson in for Leckie. The give to Piggott, right side. And he's taken down by Steve Kenny.
Very nice play by Kenny. He just rode his blocker and played with him until he saw which way Piggott was going to cut, and he shut him off and made the tackle.
Loss of 1 for the Tigers. Brings up 2nd and 11. 36-yard line of balls resting on.
Now we have an interesting situation with Duncanson's at both ends for hand. Scott at one end and then Bobby at the other.
Bobby in the slot, top of your screen. Scott down to the bottom. Gives to Piggott. Piggott straight up the middle. Taken down by Matt McGivney. Picks up a couple.
This is a play right here where it's kind of important for Hand. If Hand wants to keep a drive going, obviously got to convert the 3rd down, or at least get very, very close, and also a chance to establish domination early in the 3rd period.
3rd and 9 for the Tigers. Thompson, 3-step drop, as Scott Duncanson down.
First down.
For the 1st down. Thompson to the sure-handed Scott Duncanson.
Again, Malony was playing 3 backs about 15 yards off the line of scrimmage there. They seem to fear, or the Spartans seem to fear that deep pass, and that time Dave Thompson had 2 people slanting in underneath the coverage, and he got the 1st down with it. A nice 12-yard pickup, 13-yard pickup.
First and 10 Tigers. Bob Duncanson in the slot. Eyes tight. Scott Duncanson top of your screen. High formation. Piggott. As the Tigers look to go up the middle. Piggott spins. Up close to the 20.
'69 Mark Howard in on the stop that time. That time he started up the middle. Kevin started up the middle, and Dennis Simmons was having a little bit of problem with the guy that he was supposed to be blocking, and Piggott ran into him and then bounced it to the outside and still managed to pick up a couple yards.
Tigers had good success running wide in the 1st half, and here early they're looking to run the ball up the middle a little bit more.
Again, I think they're, to a certain degree, they're trying to keep away from Q and Potts.
2nd and 9. Square out to Scott Duncanson. It's underthrown, and it falls incomplete. Brings up a 3rd and 9 for the Tigers. It starts to get a little cooler here. Some intermittent rain falling.
Scott Sullivan to the short side of the field this time. Right now we have procedure penalty here on Hand. I think that's going to be on Bob Hughes, who kind of picked up his hand a little bit. Once again, that time Malony was kind of jumping around defensively, and Bob Hughes picked up the hand, and the official was right there to call it.
And going with pretty much the same offense they started the game with. Mike Ciotti at the center. Edwards and Hughes, Murphy and McGooey. And we see Leckie and both the Duncanses now shuttling in and out. Nye the tight end, Sullivan the slot. Bryson Simmons sharing the duty at fullback here early in second half. And Piggott is the tailback. Thompson, of course, the quarterback.
Bill Leckie's over on the sideline. Jan Carroll, I think, has been working with him. He looks like he's trying to get it back a little bit. Thompson's out of a shotgun for the first time tonight.
3rd and 13. Thompson rolls right. He's in trouble. Throws the ball. Oh, outstretched hands, and Timmy Nye cannot quite reach it. And it brings up a 4th down situation.
And Nye's hurt also. I think he cramped. Or he may have twisted something. This could be a leg problem.
Timmy Nye, injured on the last play, appeared to be all right. He trotted off the field under his own power. Valley Regional transfer Gary Beeson checks in at the tight end position. 4th and 13 for the Tigers.
Tim Nye looked like he cramped on that play, which means he should probably be back.
Thompson trying to slip through, does, but won't get enough for the first. And on downs, the ball will turn over. Interesting call.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing. It definitely was. It almost worked, though, because the line got a pretty good surge in there, and all of a sudden it looked like Thompson might be able to pop it free, but Malony recovered quickly.
4th and 5 or 6, it would have been, he would have had it. 4th and 13, Thompson comes up 5 or 6 short, so the ball turns over. Durant, the ball carrier, and he's taken down. And in on the play for the Tigers, number 86, that's Robbie Vibbert. Vibbert now into the game on defense for the Tigers.
He's in there in Tim Nye's spot. Bill Leckie, though, is back in the ball game, so that's good news for the Tigers.
We'll give Durant 6 on that last play. 2nd down and 4. High formation. Give to Durant over the right side again. And Durant taken out of bounds by Timmy Wynowski up over the 35-yard line to about the 36, enough for a Malony first down.
Durant's reading his blocks now a little bit better than he was in the first half. He's seeing how that kickout block is working, and he's cutting right off that block and getting himself out to the corner. And when he does, obviously, he's very dangerous.
1st and 10, 36-yard line. Durant, right side, has to cut back, though.
Matt Sullivan was there to break up the play to the outside, force it back in, and the hand defense caught up with it.
And the Malony Spartans working on the left side of the hand defensive line. Vibbert in for Nye. Pegnataro also in there too. And the other change they made this week is they have Justin Murphy at the nose tackle position.
He's got one of the dirtier uniforms on the field. He's been doing a nice job out there.
2nd and 9. Strong left. And a quick hit.
A quick hitter to Dudley again.
Dudley rambles up for another first down. A couple yards shy of midfield, 48-yard line. Malony trying to get things going here. 4:25 to go, 3rd quarter. They trail 15-0.
One thing that's happening is Maloney's offensive line is getting a pretty good quick thrust, but Hand's recovering quickly enough to stop Durant, who's like 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But on the quick hitter, sometimes Dudley's in there quickly.
1st and 10, Durant right side again, tries to cut outside. Piggott in on the stop. And the Malony coaches and fans looking for
a face mask call.
There. No flag on the play.
Which is sort of fortunate for Hand, because I think there was probably a face mask in there. Kevin Piggott had his hands up around Durant's head, and whether or not he actually had the hand on the face mask was kind of tough to tell.
No gain on the play for the Spartans. Well, they'll give them 2. We'll call it 2nd and 8. Fake to Durant, looking over the middle. Ball's deflected.
It was deflected by by Bob Hughes, number 68. Dennis Simmons also was right in there. It looked like Bob Hughes got a big hand up in there and knocked the ball down. Beestick did some nice faking on that play, though. He had started a bootleg and put it on his outside hip, and it looked like he had a man dragging across the middle who might have been open on that play. There's 3:22 left to go here in the third quarter.
Third down 8. And Durant tries left this time. Slips through.
First down.
For the first down. Third down and 8. And Durant gets 9 and enough for the first down.
Tim Nye back in the ball game, and David Thompson also over there defensively on the tackle.
And was not really playing soft on that play. Just good surge from the offensive line from the Spartans.
The Malony line is a strong offensive line. They're doing a pretty good job up front.
First and 10, they go 2 tight ends here. And it gives Durant right side as they look to wear down the Tigers here a little bit. And Pickett once again.
Outstanding play by Kevin Pickett. Kevin had to come over a blocker that time. He had a man in front of him, and he came right over the top of the guy and managed to get a hold of Durant well enough to bring him down. Very nice play. That just put Craig Durant over the 100-yard mark finally, but it took him 23 carries to do it, whereas Kevin Pickett did it in 7.
Second and 6. Once again, 2 tight ends, slot right, high formation. Durant, right side again. And he may go all the way. Sullivan, the only man that can catch him. Durant goes in for the touchdown.
There's a clip on the play. I was wondering. I didn't see the flag at first, and I thought it was definitely a clip. That'll be called back right over in here, right on the right-hand side.
Beestick is steaming that.
Tim Wojnowski definitely got nailed from behind on that play. There wasn't any question about the fact that he was blocked from behind. And he was the only guy with a chance to make a tackle on it. But that's the speed that Craig Durant has. He gets to the outside, and he's gone.
So what could have put the Spartans right in the ball game here will now cost them 15. As we saw with the explosive running of Durant, this game far from over with only a 15-0 lead for the Tigers, and still better than 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Maloney coaches didn't say too much about that. I think that they saw it fairly clearly, and I'm sure that when they look at film of this game that they will definitely see the clip on that play.
Ball resting on the Tiger 45-yard line.
Second and 15.
Maloney need to take it down close to the 30. Beestick looking long. Thompson will pick it off at the 20-yard line. So the Tigers on a David Thompson interception will take over. First and 10.
Beestick,
the 21.
Beestick thought that he had Scott Kaczynski, number 22, out there. Kaczynski was maybe a step behind Thompson, but David Thompson, again, is just a very, very good defensive player. And he read it. The ball was a little bit short, and he had no trouble getting the interception. I think he had him covered well enough anyway.
Tigers take over. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter. High formation. Duncanson and Sullivan to the left. And Pickett fumbles the handoff. Loses about 5 on the play.
Pickett recovered his own fumble on that. Number 79, Dominic Standish, was there to make the hit. And Pickett didn't really have good control of the ball at all. He was just starting to run and just starting to tuck it in when he got hit a little bit. And Standish is down. The only guy down on that play, he was down for Maloney, and their coaches were out there. And then Kevin Pickett was also down for Hand, and he came limping off the field on the other side. There's quite a collision there.
Under a minute and a half to go, third quarter. Thompson on the slant, incomplete. Intended for Rob Duncanson, or was it Scott?
Scott.
84 is Scott, and Bobby Duncanson will be number 82. And he checks in right now. Sullivan comes out. Third and 15 for the Tigers, deep in their own territory.
Thompson had receivers open both sides on that. Tim Nye was cutting across the other way, and Duncanson was there. He just missed him.
3rd and 15. Thompson sprints left. Duncanson was open over the middle. Thompson now looking for Bob Duncanson. He has it.
He'll get caught, I think.
One man to catch him. Cuts back and taken down by Victor Mateus. Number 21, the only man left.
Yes, he was. And David Thompson did a nice job. I wondered if he was going to stop before he got to the line of scrimmage when he rolled on that. And he had the presence to stop probably around the 14.5-yard line. Got the ball upfield very nicely to Bobby Duncanson. That took hand out of a very big hole, 3rd and 15 play.
The hand offense, which was in a bit of a stall for most of the 3rd quarter. A big play. Minute 5 to go, 3rd quarter. Tigers good field position now. I formation. Rice gets an unusual carry. Doesn't carry the ball much.
Chris went right up the middle that time. David Thompson trying his hand at a little bit of that sleight of hand ball handling that Beestick's been trying to do.
Rice getting 2. Must credit Chris Bryce for many of the yards Pickett has been getting the last few weeks. Doing a nice job as Kevin Pickett's lead blocker.
Right. Peter Metz is in there at the tailback slot right now for hand.
Fake is to Metz. Thompson looking across the middle for Nye. And Nye and Leckie were both in the same area of the field.
What happened there? Billy Leckie just kind of ran it down and curled it in, and he drew triple coverage at that point. And Timmy Nye came from the other side and wound up running a flag pattern to the far corner, and that's who Thompson was going for. And if David's pass had been just a little bit further, I think Timmy Nye might have had 6 on that play.
Bill Leckie is still limping a little bit.
And he's drawn a host of people wherever he goes. Yes, he is. He's coming to the outside here now. He's limping.
Shotgun for the 2nd time for the Tigers, 3rd and 7. Metz and Simmons back, full rush. Thompson has to sprint right. Slips
past Durant.
Looks deep into the end zone. Intended for Peter Metz.
Yes.
Metz out of the backfield, and the ball was overthrown as Thompson was forced out of the pocket by number 74, Keith Murphy.
It was 74. I thought it was 24 for a second. I thought that was Durant coming up. That was Murphy. Nice play there. And apparently going to punt here.
Ball just inside the 35.
Although Thompson again is very tight. He's only about 10 yards deep. Now he's waiting for the rush.
And
Nice coffin corner.
angle
Nice
for the
coffin
ball.
corner kick.
5-yard line. Beautiful kick from Thompson will set Malony deep in their own territory. They'll have a 1st and 10 from their own 5-yard line with 5 seconds to go, and we do have another injured player. Number 69, that's Mark Howard for the Spartans. Mark was in trying to block that punt.
David Thompson did a very nice job on that punt. Just waited and waited and waited while number 69, Mark Howard, the injured player, came in, finally put some pressure on him, and then Thompson very calmly dropped the ball dead on the 5-yard line.
95 yards to go. Durant about 3 yards deep in his own end zone. He'll get the call. Gets up for some breathing room to about the 7-yard line.
And that's the end of the 3rd period.
That'll do it here in the 3rd quarter. The 3rd quarter has ended, and they change ends, and the Hand Tigers have the lead 15-0 over the Spartans of Malony.
Okay, Malony now at his own 8-yard line, 12 minutes to go, 92 yards to go.
And Beestick looking across the middle, hit hard by Bob Duncanson. No whistle as Thompson picks the ball up. And they're going to say he caught the ball and fumbled it.
I find that difficult to believe.
And Potts is also hurt on the play.
Thompson's not the only one who's hurt. If Thompson is hurt. No, Thompson's not hurt,
Potts.
is he?
Potts is hurt.
Potts.
At have to say a questionable call.
Very, very questionable call. David
Bluebirds
Thompson.
in the background tell us what they think.
Rice, 32.
Tigers have the ball first and goal from the 9 on a very interesting call on a pass intended for Potts. Bryce in on the hit. It didn't appear that Potts had caught the ball yet. Ball fumbled loose. Thompson picked it up, brought it down to the 9, and the Tigers have the ball. Thompson now rolling left, and he'll lose a couple.
Number 9, Jim Beestick, in on the tackle on that play. Also over there, number 5, Steve Boley. But I agree with you. I didn't think that he really had enough control of it to call that a completed pass and fumble. But Chris Bryce's hit on that was something else.
Great hit, but at the high school level especially, 99 out of 100 of those
Are
they
not going to
rule
be
incomplete.
caught. Yep. Let's see if the Tigers can take advantage here. They lost a couple on that play.
2nd and 11. Thompson looking for Sullivan, has him down inside the 5. Sullivan slips the tackle of Potts and goes in for the touchdown.
And there's a flag. I think we may have something on number 5 up here, Steve Boley. He and Thompson just shook hands after the play.
The touchdown.
Touchdown will count.
Will stand. 11-yard strike from David Thompson to Matt Sullivan.
What happened here was that Boley got a little bit of an extracurricular hit in on Thompson, and the official called it, but at the same time, he got right up and he and Thompson shook hands, so apparently there's no bad blood.
No hard feelings. 6 more for the Tigers. 21-0 now. Simmons on to attempt the extra point. Sullivan puts a snap down from Ciani. Simmons boot. It's good. So with 11:06 to go here at Seppel Field in Meriden, the state's number 2 ranked team, the Hand Tigers, lead the Spartans now 22-0.
What they did was to assess that personal foul penalty on the kickoff, so David Thompson for Hand will be kicking off now from the Malony 45-yard line, which might be an interesting place for an onside kick perhaps.
And Matt Sullivan has just caught his 3rd touchdown pass of the game from David Thompson. All 3 scores. From number 5, Matt Sullivan. From number 12, Dave Thompson. Thompson sent the boot. Onside kick. Hard to see in the scramble. It looked like number 74 for Malony. Keith Murphy fell on the ball, and he did. And Malony will have it. At the 30-yard line, they really got to get things going here with 11 minutes to go. They trail by 22.
Tough situation for Jimmy Beestick and his Spartans to be in right here, but along with, when you have Craig Durant, anything can happen.
Kaczynski comes to the bottom of your screen, still I formation. Now Durant goes in motion to the bottom of the screen, and the give is to Potts. He looks for room right, slips a couple tackles, some nice jukes, and finally taken down by Kevin Piggott.
Potts, again, for a kid who's 5'5" and 135 pounds, that's all football player, every single inch and every single pound of it.
And a first down for Malony.
Be interesting to see if Malony uses Craig Durant that way again. The last time Durant just kind of rolled off to the left-hand side of the play as though he didn't have too much to do with it. Let's see what he does this time.
And the fake is to Durant. Beestick rolls left. And Potts was well covered by Bobby Duncanson. And
Beestick was pretty well covered by Timmy Nye and Dennis Simmons. Simmons definitely lowered the boom on him, and Nye was there along once again with Murphy as well. Beestick kind of waited a long time to throw that pass. He had Potts open short, and he was looking deep, getting a little bit greedy on the play instead of taking what Hand gave him.
Malony passing game really has not gotten on track here this evening.
Blitz coming.
B-stick. Looking deep for Durant. Got him wide open, but the ball's overthrown. Back at the 30. Sullivan beaten on the play. Durant out of the backfield.
That beating isn't to take anything away from Sullivan. That is just Craig Durant turning on the afterburners and getting that foot speed going, and there's not too many people going to catch him. Malony defensively offensive line did a very nice job on that play. Hand had a little stunt and blitz going there, and Malony picked it up very, very well. And Beestick had all the time he needed to throw that ball.
3rd and 10 for Malony. That's some movement on the Malony line, right side.
Steve Boley was over on the far side, and he stepped up and then stepped back, and you can't do that.
That'll back him up 5. Making 3rd and 15.
At this point, that 5 yards isn't really going to make a whole lot of difference. Malony needs big chunks of yards very quickly.
With 10:53 to go, 4th quarter, they'll need at least 3 scores if they want to wrestle this game from the Tigers. They've built up a 22-0 lead here. Potts comes in motion, left side. Give us to Durant, big hole up the middle. Picks up about 6 or 7 yards on the play.
I think you're going to see Bryce off the bottom of that pile. He did a nice job on that play. Yep. But the way the hand defensively is, they're playing at the show very, very soft right now. And the linebackers have got to come up and be able to make plays like Chris Bryce made right there to keep Durant from getting outside.
3rd and 15, though, Hal. You're down 22-0, and you run the ball, and now here it's 4th down. You're forced to punt.
I'm surprised Maloney's even bothering to punt here.
Line drive kick. Hand has nobody back. Thinking perhaps of a fake. Ball was out of bounds at about the 19, so the Tigers will take over, looking to take some time off the clock. 10-10 to go 4th quarter, and it's 22-zip.
9-10. I'm kind of surprised that Malony punted on that play anyway, and Hand didn't even think that Malony was going to punt, even though Kaczynski was back in punt formation.
Even more surprised they kept the ball on the ground. 3rd and 15. Durant's had a couple nice runs, but with the Tigers playing a little bit soft, he didn't look to pick up 15 up the middle. Tigers take over 1st and 10. 2 hands around the ball.
Bryce, I believe, on the ball, on the carry. Yes, it was Chris Bryce on the carry. Gain of about 1 on the play.
Well, it's 2nd and 9 for the Tigers. Earlier I said 10-10, it was 9-10, so now we're down to about 8.5 minutes.
He's got blockers. Now he slips
down. Shy of the 25-yard line.
Kevin Piggott had Justin Murphy out in front ready to throw the block, and he started to make his cut, and he slipped on that slightly wet turf out there. Otherwise, he had some more yards than he got.
3rd and 5 for the Tigers. Metz checks in for Piggott. Tunginson to the top. Sullivan to the bottom. Nice tight. Thompson. 3-yard drop. Nye over the middle. Oh, just over his outstretched hands at the 40-yard line. So the Tigers will be forced to punt with under 8 minutes to go.
That play had the earmarks, too. Timmy Nye was wide open, and I think it was a situation where he had the wrong hand up for the foot that he landed on in order to be able to reach up quite high enough to pull that in. It's like trying to make a layup off the wrong foot in basketball.
That's a bit tough. Dudley and, of course, Durant deep. And Thompson boots the ball away from Durant. And it will
take a very nice hand bounce.
Pick up at the 23 and covered. by Dudley, who watched it take a hand bounce. So Malony will start pretty deep.
No, there's a flag, and I think that's going to cost hand a little bit of yardage.
The ball's marked at the 23rd, and that's where the flag is sitting.
That was a 53-yard punt for hand with no return for Malony. But I think that Maloney's going to pick up 15 out of it anyway. Personal foul.
So the personal foul ball will give the Martins better field position. Ball at the 38-yard line.
Chris, 7:44 left, clock really started to become a factor at this point.
And once again, Durant over the left side. Pick up of close to 5 yards.
Very nice block there by Q and Potts. Throwing a block on Chris Bryce to open that hole up and spring him loose.
Bob Duncanson, as well as a horde of hand tacklers, in on the stop. Unfortunately now for Malony, they've got this far with the ball-carrying ability of Durant. And Durant finds some room left side. Thompson makes the stop over midfield. But unfortunately, they got to get things moving a little bit more here with 6:49 and change. 6:49, I guess, 22-0. They need at least 3 scores, and they don't have a lot of time.
No, there's not a lot of time, but that offense is predicated on Craig Durant.
Do what you do best.
That's about all you have left, I guess, at this point. Although you still sort of think that it's time for Malony to maybe go into the bag of tricks and bring out a halfback option or a reverse or something.
Looking for the option pass. I think you called it, Hal. Fumble on the play. It's recovered by the Tigers.
That's Hand's ball.
Tigers have recovered. Have to wait till the pile unravels before we can tell who fell on it.
Sullivan, Matt Sullivan comes up with the football.
Matt Sullivan, number 5, there he is again. One of my favorite players on the Tigers. 41-yard line. Tigers take over. They'll take some time off the clock. 6:32 to go.
This point,
number 2 state ranking appears to be well intact.
I would have a tendency to think that not only would it hold up, but tomorrow Ansonia, which is number 1, is playing Derby, and you know what that means.
Big rivalry there. Thompson sprinting left. Looks to pass the ball. Unusual call for the Tigers, intended for Scott Duncanson.
LaRue Graham back there defending and almost could have gotten himself in line for an interference call because he more or less shielded with his body Duncanson from getting at the ball.
Tigers may be feeling they have the game well at hand here, not afraid to put the ball up.
I agree with the fact of being well in hand. I'm not sure that they really necessarily want to put the ball up, although I think they probably considered that to be a safe pass.
Night tight left, Duncanson at the bottom of your screen. Sullivan's a slot, high formation, and movement. Bobby Hughes.
Well, we had, again, Malony people are moving, and hand people are just reacting to that movement. They're seeing it out of the corner of the eye or something, and Malony is not encroaching. They're not jumping offside quite, and the hand has gotten caught 3-4 times tonight with that.
March it back 5. I think it's 2nd and 15 for the Tigers.
A lot of times that can be a situation. A guy like Bob Hughes is a very good football player, is probably just so keyed up to want to get out and make a hit and open a hole that he's just reacting to the first thing that happens.
Thompson sprinting left, looks for Sullivan.
He's open and it's overthrown.
Well, not much you can call that other than the Tigers were going for a 4th touchdown from Thompson to Sullivan tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have set a hand score record or not, but it's got to be coming pretty close.
I don't think it makes the Malony coaches too happy, though.
Probably not, but 22-0, 6 minutes to go is still not one of those things that's an impossibility by any means. Usually you figure 4 scores, at that point you call off the dogs. But with 3, you know.
Sure, Malony was a 10th ranked in the preseason poll.
Right, and still getting votes after that 1-0-1 start.
Thompson,
screen pass.
Back, screen set up to Piggott down the right side, and Piggott slips down as the field is a bit wet.
One of the things that Kevin was worried about there, I think that he misread maybe where the sideline was, and he thought he was a step closer to it than he was. Tried to kind of do a lot of twisting and turning, thinking he was keeping himself in bounds, and when he did that, he just lost his balance on the wet grass.
So a 4th down situation for the Tigers.
Hand took about a minute and a half off the clock with that possession, and 5:37 left to go. It's getting to a situation here now where Malony almost has to get a real fine punt return here to get themselves set up. Itself set up.
Thompson will boot the ball in the direction of Durant, but angling for the sideline. Durant will field the ball. The 27 fakes the reverse, cuts back up to the middle of the field, slips one tackle, now breaks to the outside, turns on the burner.
Thompson, the only one who can catch him.
Sullivan misses a tackle. And finally taken down. And there is the nice punt return, Hal, you were calling for.
That's almost tempting fate when you kick the ball at him, especially after kicking it away from him all night long, which Thompson did extremely well. Kick the ball, it's like saying, here, take your best shot at me.
And I think that's exactly what they were doing.
Which is maybe a little silly.
Gary Beeson checks in. Bob Duncanson also in. 3 deep, Duncanson, Wojnowski, and Beeson. And the pass is incomplete, intended for Kuczynski, B-Stick's favorite target. And they haven't hooked up much tonight, though.
Well, Hand defensively is doing a pretty nice job. People are in the area on the pass coverage. They're getting a fairly good rush, and they've done a nice job. This defense has come a long way in a very short period of time, from replacing 10 out of 11 starters to a situation where still to this point in the ballgame, the starters have not given up a point this year.
That's right. Second 10, B-Stick rolls left.
Pot's open long.
Hughes, and it's picked off. Lecky picks the ball off. Taken out of bounds by Soroka.
We have a flag on the play. I don't know if that ball was maybe tipped.
I think it might have been tipped.
Timmy Nye, perhaps.
Bobby Hughes putting the pressure on for the Tigers, along with Murphy.
Lecky's limping again.
Pointing toward the Tigers.
Blocking below the waist on Malony declined. It's Hand's football.
So with 4:42 to go, Tigers will take over just shy of midfield, and they're holding a 22-0 lead.
Still haven't seen that much of a crowd moving towards the exits. I think perhaps there are a lot of Hand fans here who just want to see their football team finish this one off. Malony people starting to get up now a little bit.
Spotted at the 38-yard line. Duncanson, Scott to the bottom, Sullivan in the slot. On the keeper, Thompson straight up the middle, maybe one. And Malony takes timeout, 4:22 to go in the ball game, and the Tigers in front, 22-0. Second and 9 for Tigers, I formation, 4:22. And the give is to Piggott. 2 hands wrapped around the ball, gang tackled. And Malony takes another timeout.
Yeah, on that last play, you saw I think the coaches are going to be real happy when they look at that one and watch the block that Bob Hughes got. He drove his man back about 4 yards on that play and gave Piggott some running room.
3rd down and 6 for the Tigers. First down would pretty much wrap things up. It's just the Piggott left side trying to get around 74, trying to get around Keith Murphy, taken down by Lou Graham.
He's very, very close to the first down. And once again there, you see Kevin Piggott's leg strength. He went into a bigger guy and knocked him backwards and set up a measurement for the first down there, maybe 1.5 foot short. So 4th down and less than 1 at midfield.
And the Tigers.
Oh, 3rd down, I'm sorry.
No, it is 4th down, Hal.
Oh, it is 4th.
Tigers will go for it. They need a yard. Thompson sneaks it over the right side. Doesn't make it, I don't believe.
It depends on what the progress is.
The Lions judge appears
we go left foot, right foot.
Short.
Let's go left foot, right foot here. And he puts it right between them.
Yes, Malony will take over. So they're not dead yet. 3:45 to go. Ball inside hand territory. Needless to say, their work is cut out for them. 3 scores they need.
3 scores in 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Not an easy thing to do. Has been done, but not often.
Strong left, B-stick. Straight drop, looking long,
Potts.
overthrown, intended for Potts.
And Bob Duncanson right there with Potts the whole way back, did a very nice job defensively on that play.
Tiger defense keep everything inside and nothing over their heads as far as the safeties go. Of course, we did mention, you mentioned how the fact that the hand defense has not given up a score. Now, what do you do here? They have 2 or 3 substitutes here on defense. So
I'm still going to call this the first team.
Okay, so if Malony scores, there will be quite a few unhappy players as Durant rambles left. Beeson
drives him out of
bounds. 25-yard line. I'm sure if you had asked Coach Ciani at the beginning of the year if he thought his defense would have held the opposition scoreless almost for 3 complete games up to this point, he would have said no way.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he did say several things along that line before the season. He said that if you gave it a couple, 3 weeks, he might hope to have it in reasonable shape, and it happened a lot sooner than that. Which is a credit to the hand coaching staff and to the kids for the hard work that they did.
Looking long for Kaczynski, has him in the corner of the end zone. Kaczynski beating Gary Beeson to the corner with the touchdown. And just what we were talking about comes true with 3:22 to go here in the ball game. 6 points on the board for Malony. And the Tigers now lead at 22-6. And you heard it from Hal Levy. We'll have to credit that to the #1 defense of Hand.
I think we have to because Hand has, I think, 8 defensive starters in the game right now. So
Kaczynski did beat Beeson on the play.
Yeah.
Definitely a reserve.
We counted half a score. Malony here obviously going for the 2.
Well, what's
Need to
important
do
here
that.
is the Tigers would want to stop 2 here to at least assure a tie. But Potts catches the ball in the corner of the end zone. So
And
3:22 to go, it's 22-8.
he just barely got that off. Matt Sullivan had a hand on Beestick's jersey when he threw the ball, and he just managed to find Potts in the end zone. Look for the onside kick here.
Big important play there, that 2-point conversion, because should they have missed it, 16 points could have only gotten Malony a tie with 2 scores. Now they could have a chance to win the ball game with 2 scores with 3:22 to go.
Right. That's a situation here. Obviously, we do have to be looking for the onside kick. I'm sure that Hand's going to be looking for that. And I think the Tigers, yeah, David Thompson is right in the middle of the front row, and you know he's not there to block.
They've got all their backs and receivers up front. Thompson, Leckie, Beeson, Piggott, and Nye.
And right behind them are Duncanson, Sullivan,
And Chris Bryce.
Bryce, and Kevin Simmons on the far side.
John Wiesbrock also in the ball game.
Along with Timmy Wynowski. I would think that if I were Hand, I might want to have one guy deep just in case, because if Malony kicks the ball deep, somebody's going to have to come back and pick it up because it's still a free ball.
Recovering the onside kick here from Malony could make this quite a ball game with better than 3 minutes to go. It's a 14-point ball game as it stands now. Onside kick to the bottom of the screen. Lecky.
Fumble. Beeson, I believe, has the ball. Now Malony's saying...
The ball did not travel 10 yards, though.
Malony's saying, yeah, but it hit a hand player, which becomes a free ball. It hit a hand player, became a free ball. Malony says it has the ball, and so do the officials. Looks to me like Beeson has it. But...
Well, Beeson will get up with the ball.
But William Dudley, number 2, was credited with the recovery.
Interesting call there, maybe going back to the earlier play, back in the third quarter, where they called the fumble on the hit on the pass from B-Stick to Potts, which was questionable. This call here questionable. Now it's even, I believe.
I would have a tendency to say so. The thing was that one gave Hand a touchdown.
B-Stick being pursued by Pegnataro, drops it off over the middle. That's ball taken down by Lecky, and all of a sudden Malony has things rolling here with still better than 3 minutes to go.
The big thing about that play in the third quarter to remember also is that's Hand's insurance touchdown right now was scored because of that play. Otherwise it's 15-8. Malony scores, goes for 2, and all of a sudden has a lead. Now here, Malony still has to score twice.
1st and 10, 46, pro set. Quick out intended for Potts.
That was more or less try to get 5 yards, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Exactly 3 minutes showing on the clock. Ball at the 36-yard line. 2nd and 10. Durant and Dudley. Pro set. Give is to Durant. Big hole up the middle. And he's taken down by Piggott.
Piggott just...
Before he brought the ball inside the 25.
Kevin Piggott just met him head on, stood him up, and stopped him, which is a nice play.
And only 5 seconds ran off the clock on that play.
Malony is going without a huddle here, basically, which means they're probably going to see that quick out again.
1st and 10, man-to-man here on Kaczynski.
There it is. Potts
puts a juke on Piggott. But he's taken down at the 10-yard line.
That's a first down, which will stop the clock.
Just outside the 10.
Malony conceivably can get a first down without scoring here. And once they get the first down chains going, they should restart the clock because I don't think he got out of bounds.
And Malony doing a good job moving the ball quickly, not taking a lot of time.
They're saying he did get out of bounds. They did not start the clock again, so it's 2:47 left to go.
1st and 10. They can get a first down close to the goal line. Durant powers his way over the left side. Simmons takes him down, but not until he's picked up 3. 2nd and 7, and there's a timeout from Malony. That will be their final timeout.
Matt Sullivan and Chris Bryce also in there on the tackle on that play. Malony, that's either the last timeout or at most one left. Right here, Spartans have almost got a score on this particular play. Go for 2, get it, onside, kick it again.
To go in the ball game. The ball just outside the 7-yard line. 2nd and 7. B-Stick rolls left, throws across into the end zone. Touchdown! His favorite receiver, Scott Kaczynski, on the reception from B-Stick from just outside the 10-yard line. Has made this a ball game. 22-14, an 8-point deficit. And Malony will now have a choice here of looking for 1 or 2, and Hand They'll talk things over here, so there's a timeout. It's 22-14. The extra point or the two-point conversion still to come, and the Tigers' 22-0 lead has evaporated to a 22-14 lead at this point. 10-yard touchdown pass from Beestick to Kaczynski has made this a 22-14 ball game. And Hal, what do you think? Will they go for the 2 here?
I would think they probably would go for 2, because if you go for the 2 and make it, you're within 6. If you don't, you're still within 8 of a tie.
That's what they'll do. The pitch to Durant. Sullivan drags him down from behind. And a two-point conversion fails. So Malony trails by 8 with 2:36 to go by a score of 22-14, and perhaps another onside kick.
You got to figure that that's what's going to happen with 2:36 to go. That was a situation of 2 determined football players. Matt Sullivan just having a piece of Craig Durant's jersey, and Durant trying to go forward, and then Sullivan holding on long enough to get the help. A big, big play for Matt Sullivan, one of a number that he's made in this game.
Well, what for 3.5 quarters was pretty much a hand game here, it's turned into quite an interesting affair here up in Meriden. 22-14, the Tigers in front. 2:36 to go in the ball game, and the 14 points coming from the Malony side, all coming in the last few minutes.
And Hand again has got its best hands up front. This time, hopefully, the Tigers won't go across that 10-yard restraining stripe. Wait for the ball to come to them, because until it does, it's a dead ball. Another thing to note here is that the last time Gary Beeson was on the far right-hand side, the near side on the camera. This time he is in the middle. David Thompson is on the near side. So a little bit of a switch in the formation for Hand, figuring perhaps Maloney's going to go to one side or the other.
Set, V-stick, and once again the ball is fumbled by the Tigers, and
still loose. Malony has it,
and Malony still has it.
LaRue Graham.
LaRue Graham. Potts had the ball originally, lost it. Graham fell on it, and needless to say, the crowd is going wild.
And once again, that was a situation that a Hand player touched it before it went across that 10-yard restraining line. It took that last hop up at about 8 yards. Somebody got a tad over anxious, stepped in, didn't have good hands on the ball. It came loose. 2:29 to go, clock running, and Malony back in business.
High formation, B-stick rolling left. He's intended for Potts, but dropped at the midfield stripe. Something surely the Tigers will be go over in practice this next week as they await their Thursday evening contest against Bunnell, and that's working on that onside kick.
Yeah, I think that you definitely have to work on staying back on the ball, waiting for it to come to you just a little bit until it gets across that 10-yard restraining barrier.
Second down 10. Malony brings Kaczynski and Potts to the bottom of the screen. They're tight right. The give is to Durant over the left side. And he's taken down after a pickup of about 4.
Tim Nye getting up off the bottom of the pile there with the tackle.
Obvious 2-down situation, 3rd and 6.
2 minutes.
Just under 2 minutes now to go. B-stick rolls left. Throws the ball deep for Kaczynski, intercepted by number
Matt
5,
Sullivan.
Pickett tries to put a block on number 5, Bull, but Bull takes down Matt Sullivan.
And once again, there's a flag down on the play. And let's see what the flag is going to be. I would have a tendency to think it's going to be on Malony, but it's in the low block, I think.
All the coaches from Malony are on the field, 5 of them. interception appears that it will stand.
I think what happened was a low block, a block below the waist call on Malony, which obviously Hand is going to decline in order to get the football. Larry Ciotti, in the meantime, is over on the far side talking with David Thompson, probably telling him just to kind of fall on the ball, more or less. And Malony doesn't have any timeouts left. Hand can probably run the clock out.
Minute 47 to go.
The call was clipping on Malony. Now why Hand got the ball on that play, I'm not really sure. That's a rule interpretation that I have absolutely no concept of.
Penalty came after the interception.
Yeah, but at that point it can't be a clip any longer because it's not, the defense doesn't clip.
Thompson.
There should be a flag in there, and there is. The flag was thrown late, but again, Hand had somebody stand up, and I think Hand's going to get hit with an illegal procedure penalty, which stops the clock. Oh, they went against Malony this time. They called it on Malony for the offside or encroachment penalty. That was a situation that was very helpful for Hand because it gave Hand 5 yards, still kept it first down, and at the same time took 25 seconds off the clock. So Hand's now down to 122 that it has to run out with 4 downs to do it. Just don't fumble.
Thompson covers the ball.
Now there should be a penalty right there because David Thompson was down, the whistle blew. He put one knee down, got back up, and then got buried. That's the kind of thing that officials should protect against. And now we have a Malony player injured. Steve Kenny, the injured Malony player, and we have more flags.
Second down for the Tigers, 47 seconds to go. Thompson runs back to his 37-yard line.
Just puts the knee down. That's negative yardage in the stats, but he's doing exactly what he's supposed to, which is just simply